Hi there, once again your wisdom mentor is back again. My name is Edwin Ajeh, all the way from J-Town City. God bless you. So we are talking about altars part 4. Come and say it with me. Altars part 4. Come and say it one more time with me. Altars part 4. And we said an altar is something that connects the natural to the supernatural. An altar is something that connects the earth to the heaven. An altar is something that connects the divine to something that is natural. So an altar is like a chain, it's like a bridge connecting a region to another region. So if you find that you have not been making interaction with heaven, or you've not been making enough or sufficient interaction with God, it's because you don't have an altar speaking for you. It's amazing how many church people go to church, but they don't have any altars in their life. They don't have nothing sufficient that is speaking for them. And that is why you see that they have found themselves struggling continuously. In the part 2, we talked about the types of altar, which we mentioned: prayer, memorial, church, sacrifice, and praise. There are even more types of altars, but we'll deal with that later. And in the part 3, we talked about the laws of an altar, saying that you must have an altar, number 1. Number 2, you must have a sacrifice. Number 3, you must have a priest, Jesus Christ, our ultimate priest. Number 4, there must be fire on the altar. You must ensure that the altar burns day and night. Then keep connecting to the altar, and then keep the covenant of the altar. That's what we dealt in part 3. In this part 4, what we're going to talk about is that the result of an altar. An altar, or building an altar, is a means to an end. You understand? There is a result to every altar that you build. Don't think you're building an altar for nothing in your life. Number 1, the result of an altar now, it gives you a voice. If you don't have a voice, if you find that you have been voiceless, whatever you do is not speaking, is because you don't have an altar. See, the voice of Jesus, the voice of his blood now is speaking from generation to generation. That is a voice. Remember how Cain killed his brother, and Abel's blood began to speak from the past to the present. Jesus Christ's blood had to come and shut the blood of Jesus, shut the blood of the accuser, Satan, shut the blood of every negative thing speaking against you. So the blood is powerful. It has a voice. An altar gives you a voice. Number 2, it gives you favor. Number 3, it removes curses from your life. In Genesis chapter 8 verse 21, God says, I will not curse the ground again, because Noah built an altar. Look at over 6,000 years, but the covenant that God made with Noah is still speaking till this day. Because if you look up, you will see a rainbow, and rainbows appear once in a while to tell you that there was a covenant that was made in the past. That was an altar that Noah built, and that altar is still speaking till today. Number 4, if you have an altar, the result is that you can easily call upon the name of the Lord. Many of us, when we find it difficult to call upon the name of the Lord, is because you don't have any altar. And even if you have an altar, there is nothing on that altar. That's why you see that even after calling the name of the Lord, nothing is happening in your life. A man with an altar, when he comes and he speaks, you will know he carries an altar. Please just hear my voice. You will know that I am speaking from a place of an altar. I didn't just start speaking today. And it's not about speech. It's not about English. I did not read English. It's not about grammar. But you can't deny the power you are feeling by my voice you are hearing. And it's penetrating inside your spirit. You know it. It's an altar that is speaking. When you hear a man speaking that carries altar, that carries fire, you will know. And let me tell you, it doesn't have to come and tell you grammar. It doesn't have to give you big English languages. But something that is penetrating and entering deep inside your spirit, you will know it. Whether you like it or not, whether you love him or not, you will know that this man carries altar or this woman carries altar. It's the same thing when you go to a church that has an altar, you will know. Many people go to churches that are dead. That is why you see that their spiritual life is drowning. If you go to a church that there is no life, there is no spirit in that church, then it means that you are going to church or you are attending church without an altar. So, with an altar, you can easily tell that God is there. Number 5. Altar brings angelic intervention. If not been having angelic intervention or angelic encounters in your life, it's because there is no altar. Remember how Jacob was passing through and he had an encounter with an angel at an altar. It must be an altar. He saw angels ascending and descending on the altar that his grandfather had built. So, if you've not been having angelic assistance, it's because there is no altar around you. You don't have any altar, and no altar is speaking for you. That is why you've not been having angelic assistance. Number 6. Altars can give you an encounter in your life. Jacob had an encounter at Bethel. And even when his brother was coming, do you know, he needed an encounter to be able to defend himself from his brother. Because before he left home, his brother had wanted to kill him. Now, his brother was coming towards his direction with 300 men. Jacob had to wait there and ensure that he got an encounter. After he got an encounter, his name changed from Jacob to Israel. From then, Jacob did not just become an individual, but he became a generation. Until today, you must make reference of Jacob. Why? Because he had an encounter. So if you have an altar, you can get an encounter. Many of us, I know you are in need of an encounter. What you need is to build an altar. After you build that altar, then an encounter is sure for you. Number 7, blessing. Exodus chapter 20 verse 24. It talks about, I will come and I will bless you. God is saying, I will come and I will bless you if you build an altar. Number 8, sanctification. Exodus 29 verse 44. An altar will sanctify whatever. Number 10, visitation. Every time you have an altar, there is going to be visitation in your life. Amos chapter 3 verse 14. I will visit the altar of Bethel. That's what God is saying. Number 11, God stands on an altar. Let me tell you. Every time you are struggling, it's because God is not standing anywhere close to you. So God needs an altar to stand close to you. Amos 9:1. Then the last one, holiness. An altar motivates holiness. It motivates you to be holy. Because let me tell you, like in the olden days, you cannot approach an altar of God without being holy, because you'll be stricken. You will die instantly. You can't go and say, I want to pray when you are not holy. And even if you are not holy, do you know, you will ask for forgiveness before going to that altar. So it motivates holiness. Those are the results of an altar. Do you have an altar in your life today? Would you say that your life is changed? Will you say that there is a difference in your life? This is your wisdom mentor. This is Edwin Ajeh, all the way from J-Town City. I came to tell you that there is a result for that altar. Come on, build that altar and you will see the hand of God. God bless you.